Hey everybody. Alright, so this week I made a big purchase. Alright, I bought a Moto Guzzi v7III Stone. Alright, this is 2020, the year. It was a leftover. I got it. Guess people weren't buying in COVID season, so it was kind of a rush. This is number 83 out of 750. So basically only 750 of this color was made. And I guess since I'm on the number, I'm gonna be cool. I just joined a club on Facebook about Moto Guzzis, and basically I told them the number, and now a lot of guys are like, hey, I'm number 61, hey, I'm number 106, and blah 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 blah. So it is kind of cool to see the community out like that. Now, the story behind getting this bike is that I went there actually to look at a Yamaha Bolt R-Spec because I wanted to build a cafe bike, and they didn't have any. They're not getting any. They don't. It's kind of with COVID, they kind of got what they got, and that's it. And they don't know what's coming in, and so a lot with everything. Same thing on the bike fact too. So I walked around the showroom. I looked at a lot of different bikes, and I sat on everything: Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki. The couple bikes that really kind of came down to it was I was looking at an Indian Scout, but it was 4 out of 5 of them. 4 of them was sold. There was only 1 left over, so I didn't want a bike that basically everybody's already getting. And then I went to the Triumph triple speed that they had a used one there, but they didn't work on the bike, and I didn't want to have to go 52 miles to have something repaired on it or something funny like that. When I already work up there, I don't want to do it. So and that's a bike that's pretty, it's not a big bike, but basically it's a bike that's out there enough so people kind of know what it is. I didn't even know about this bike. Like, I mean, if you're a motorcycle guy, you probably do, but I've been out of the motorcycle game for a while, and honestly, I saw this bike in other colors and it didn't do anything for me. But I sat on it. I sat on this one because it just called me, man. And it was just weird. It kind of said, take me home. And so I sat on it. I was like, let me keep looking. And I swear, it just crept in my head like, hey, I'm yours. Take me home. So I sat on it. I went back to the Speed Triple. I went there, and the Speed Triple didn't feel as good as it did before I sat on this, and so I just went with it. I went back. We sat on it, and again, and I looked at it and I rolled it up. I asked her to start it up. She started it up. It's a cool sound. And then so she asked if I wanted to take it for a ride. I said, yeah, I will. I filled out the paperwork that basically says you crash it, you own it. So I went out there and I absolutely hated it. Like, it was like the worst thing I ever rode. It was just terrible. So I went down for about 2 miles, maybe 3 miles, loop, came back. I went, and she goes, so how'd you like it? I said, I hated it. So she said, you hated it? I said, yeah. I said, you ever hear that before? She said, no. And so I really kind of felt sick to my stomach because the bike really, it was my bike. Like, I don't know if you ever see it with a car or something like that. It's my bike. It was just like, it's supposed to be mine. Like, it was just my bike. And like when it didn't ride right, I felt really sick, like maybe it's not my bike. But everything was like, it's my bike. It was like, and it's already a she apparently, because I keep calling it she. It was my bike. So she asked me if I wanted to try the Triumph triple, and I said no. I really was kind of like, I felt sick and just kind of bummed by the whole fact, like it just didn't ride right. So I went home and I literally watched 2.5 hours of bikes videos on this bike, and I mean first rides, exhaust things, what people do, blah 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 blah. And what I wanted out of it is how they ride it, what the experience is with the first ride. I didn't really care. Everybody says motorcycle's a motorcycle, and it's really not. Every bike really has its own different characteristics, and so I learned basically it's a bike that you kind of ride upright, honestly almost like you're stoned. like you're just high and you're ready to go, and you just kind of let the bike more do the work. But the bike likes to scream, like it likes that high RPM. So I went back after work the next day, I rode it like you're supposed to, and completely different bike. It was just a marriage. It was perfect. Text my wife saying, babe, this is it, like this is it. And so we sat down, we did the paperwork, a lot of walking and talking and what I'm gonna pay for and what I'm not. There isn't much leeway during COVID, by the way, so I think I did pretty well. And so I got it, and that's it. It does have 258 miles on it now. I didn't do the whole ride with you because basically you can go on YouTube and you can watch it. There is a couple quirks on it. It's a very, very, very quirky bike, okay? So I mean, it's quirky. I mean quirky like it just is. So they're not going to tell you this. When you go in there, when the bike warms up, you're going to hear a funny rattle when you engage clutch. It's going to make a different kind of shake, almost like it wants to jump out of gear. That's because it's a dry clutch. I've never had a dry clutch before, so that's the sound it does. It makes almost like a rattle. And then today I hit about 178 miles on the bike, and now it has kind of like a funny hesitation between 20 and 30 miles an hour. Might just be a quirk. I'll call them on Tuesday when they've opened back up and ask them about it. It's warranted. The bike now is officially mine. It's 3 days old, and they closed at 4 o'clock today. So there's no turning back. So we are gonna walk through this trial and error together here. Everybody's like, hey, what are you gonna do for upgrades on the bike? I don't know. I will tell you though, the first upgrade I'm doing is I'm gonna remove this here. So this here is gonna be gone, and just a plate will be here. And then, I don't know, there's a lot of talk about it. My son has already claimed the bike. As soon as I drove in the driveway, he said, hey Dad, that's my bike. So maybe I can get a bike sooner than I thought. Let me see what else. It does do really well at speeds. Like it kind of moves around, but it's kind of solid bike. It only weighs 461 pounds wet. Let me see, what else can I tell you? So the tires. I don't know if I like the tires or if it's just me getting used to the bike. I come from a sport bike background, so riding the bike differently as you do on these bikes than you do on a sport bike is kind of a whole different, like, it's just a whole different way, man. It's just a whole different way. So right now I'm basically feels like I'm turning the bike like a tractor trailer, like I'm taking wide turns instead of kind of leaning and then giving it gas. This, you lean and you roll through it, I guess, from what I hear. Still working on that theory or not, so we're gonna go through that venture together. I am gonna get a helmet cam so we can start doing vlogs and stuff like that and talking about it. But I do think this bike is gonna be an adventure. Hope a good adventure. I don't want like a crazy adventure. I want calm, like beautiful scenic ventures. But that's it for right now. And next video, we'll see, and we'll continue from there. Thanks for watching.